This is ABC15 Mornings.
Today, the state Senate's election audit will continue. This morning, we're going to break down the delays and ballot security issues that popped up on day one.
Plus, the Valley man sharing his story after testing positive for COVID while being fully vaccinated. Ahead, we'll explain your risk.
And when parents in Cave Creek can expect some answers after a popular language program was abruptly cut from the curriculum.
We want to say good morning to you. It is 6 o'clock now on your Saturday morning. It is the weekend, of course. I'm Megan Thompson.
And I'm Mark Thompson. Happy weekend to you, Megan. Happy weekend to everybody out there. And I can tell we're cruising towards summer because it's starting to get light earlier and dark later.
You're exactly right. Every time I see and check in on that official sunrise time, official sunset time, I'm always shocked about that huge jump that we're making now. The sunrise officially was up 15 minutes ago, and usually it's, we feel that darkness for what feels like so long. And now as we take a live look outside, that sunshine looking beautiful. 64 degrees right now, the dew point 37. Winds from the east about 6 miles per hour. Those wind gusts will be between 5 to 10 miles per hour today with those sustained winds. The winds will really pick up for us here in the valley tomorrow. So get out today if you can, so you won't be whipping around in those high wind speeds tomorrow. For your hiking forecast, like I mentioned, that official sunrise was at 5:47 this morning. We're in the 60s all across the valley, some spots in the 50s. By midday, 85 degrees with mostly sunny skies. The UV index is very high, right at 9 today. That means your burn time is about 15 minutes. Sunset is at 7:06 tonight, 89 degrees. So today for a high 92, we expect to hit that right around 4 o'clock today. The average is 88. So we are above average for this time of year. But if you don't like the 90s, we're going to go into the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the triple digits in that 7-day mark. I'll walk you through all of that coming up.
All right, Megan, thank you. We've got some breaking news just into the newsroom. A man was shot and killed by police in Casa Grande overnight. Officers were responding to a call about a shooting, and when they arrived, they saw a woman laying on the ground and a man with a gun. They say that man was shot and killed after he refused to drop his gun. Police believe that the man shot that woman during a fight. She is expected to survive. The officer who shot the man is now on administrative duty as the shooting is now being investigated. And we switch gears now to some good news in the fight against COVID-19. The White House Coronavirus Task Force says that more than half of adults in the United States have gotten at least one COVID-19 shot. Here in Arizona, nearly 2 in 5 people are now fully vaccinated, and more than 2.8 million people have at least one dose. In the Navajo Nation, no new COVID-19 related deaths have been reported for the 12th time in the past 13 days. The last Arizona COVID numbers, well, the latest ones, that is, they're going to be released coming up this morning at 8:30. Now, today, you've got a chance to see how people in underserved communities are going to be served with the new COVID-19 vaccine. The Hero Zona Foundation is hosting another vaccine clinic at South Mountain Community College. And unlike the state-run sites, this is not a drive-through event, so you can walk, bike, or even ride a bus to get your shot. But you do need an appointment. The phone number is on your screen right there. It's 888-587-3647. You can get help in both English and Spanish. For more information on how to get an appointment near you, just go to abc15.com/vaccine.
The CDC now recommending the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine go back into use. Its rollout has been on pause for more than a week after a small percentage of people experienced rare blood clots. Now the FDA will put a warning label on the vaccine that women under the age of 50 should be aware of the risk of blood clots. So far in the U.S., the CDC knows of 15 women who developed the blood clots linked to the vaccine, and 3 of them have died. During the clinical trial, one man also experienced clots and was treated.
The incidence, it's quite a rare event that there are about 10 to 15 cases per million in the population.
The cases are out of almost 7 million of the J&J vaccines that have been given, Mark.
A Valley man says that he tested positive for COVID-19 despite being fully vaccinated since February. Phoenix native Andrew Rascone says that he tested positive for COVID this week after going the entire pandemic without contracting the virus. In Arizona, only 778 people have contracted COVID after being vaccinated, with no deaths. That's less than 0.04%.
No one ever said that anything was 100%. There's actually really much nothing in medicine that is 100%.
The COVID-19 vaccine does not make you completely immune to COVID-19. What it does do, however, is reduce your risk of hospitalization if you do get it. Now, Andrew, he still advocates that people receive the vaccine, and he says that he is starting to feel better, and he hopes that the worst of his symptoms are behind him.
Now to your voice, your vote. Today, the state Senate's election audit will continue after a bumpy first day. More than 2 million ballots set to be recounted, but most of what we've seen so far are delays, ballot security issues, and lawsuits. ABC 15's Nicole Gregg is working to get you the facts.
There were issues from the moment chosen observers showed up this morning at the gates trying to get inside. The sign-up list that the contractor had wasn't working, so some of them were turned away. This is as much access as the public can get. A live camera feed showing ballots being counted inside the Veterans Memorial Coliseum. A 6-hour delay before the work to examine ballots even began.
It was obvious today that things were still being worked out, and so people were trying to clear up the rules before the actual counting of the ballots began.
Jen Fifield is a reporter for the Arizona Republic. She was only able to get inside the Coliseum because she volunteered as an observer. No cameras, no notebooks, a 6-hour shift. She was one observer who noticed that there were issues inside with procedures.
One of the first things that I saw was that there were red and blue pens on the tables where they were putting the ballots and where they were counting the ballots. And I know that, ballots can read both black and blue ink. So initially I pointed it out and I said they could potentially mark the ballots if they have those pens. They did correct that before any ballots got on the floor, actual ballots. So they put out green pens with the red pens.
Along with delays in procedures, there were concerns about security. There was a hearing on Friday after the Democrats sued to stop the audit. A Maricopa County judge raised concerns about ballot security and making sure that voter privacy was protected. The judge wants the audit to comply in all respects to Arizona law.
It is the province of the court to ensure that voter information and those constitutional protections are held sacrosanct. And that also includes the protection of ballots under Arizona law.
So for now, this audit can continue. However, there is another hearing on Monday where the contractor will have to prove to a judge that they're following all Arizona state election laws. Reporting in Phoenix, Nicole Gregg, ABC 15 Arizona.
Nicole, thank you for staying on top of that one for us. Now, Governor Doug Ducey signing a handful of bills into law, including one that adds to the authority of pharmacists. Under this new law, most pharmacists will be able to prescribe drugs that help with quitting tobacco. They'll also be able to prescribe oral fluoride. The Arizona Corporation Commission says people in 3 area codes will have to change the way they make local calls starting later this year. People with area codes 480, 520, and 928 should begin dialing area codes with phone numbers after October 24th. Calls made without area codes may not go through. The change will not affect the price of a call. Mark?
All right, Megan, thank you. Now to an update on a story that we've been following. The president of the Cave Creek School Governing Board demanding answers about the elimination of a popular language program. Thursday, parents and students protested outside Horseshoe Trails Elementary after Superintendent Court Monroe abruptly cut a Mandarin immersion curriculum. The program was so popular that there was a waiting list just to get in. The district cited budget cuts but refused to budge even after parents offered to raise money to keep that program going. Yesterday, the president of the board added a new item to Monday's board meeting. He wants the superintendent to explain why it was cut and whether the program can be restored next year. We'll be watching.
Today is Prescription Drug Take Back Day, so if you have any unused prescriptions or medications, you can drop them off at one of several locations all around the state, so they'll be properly disposed of. You have from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. You can find a location near you by going to DEAtakeback.com.
So the first step is you fold each of these sides diagonally.
Still ahead, a local teen using origami to connect families to their loved ones in hospice care. And an update on the Indonesian submarine that went missing with 53 sailors. What crews found this morning that indicates it sunk.
Watch ABC15 Arizona on your schedule. Stream the latest news and weather by searching ABC15 on Roku, Fire TV, Android TV, and Apple TV.
Welcome back, everybody. A local high schooler's simple act of kindness making a huge difference for families who are trying to connect with their loved ones in hospice care. ABC 15's Ashley Paredes has more on the change that he's creating, one origami crane at a time. Look.
So the first step is you fold each of these sides diagonally.
Charles Zhang making more than 1,500 origami cranes over the past year.
Afterwards, you fold these two together,
allowing families to write messages on them, then sending them on their way.
I know this has really allowed for families to connect with their loved ones.
Reaching patients at Hospice of the Valley, a place where Charles volunteered regularly before the pandemic. With in-person visitation stopping, his mission was to keep the communication between families going. That sparked the Wishing Crane Project, an idea Charles says was inspired by a book.
One origami paper crane represents like good luck and happiness, but if you create 1,000 origami paper cranes, you make a wish come true, and you're also instilling like good luck and happiness into the community.
He's also received help from two friends wanting to be part of the impact, an impact that is being recognized for going beyond just that one act of kindness. While president of the Hope Chinese School Student Council, Charles also raised thousands of dollars last summer for the Navajo Nation, helping them buy personal protective equipment as they were hit hard with COVID cases.
I've always loved volunteering and also helping other people, since I know that like in my daily life, like random strangers also help me out too. So I really want to give back to other people, including the elderly.
Those efforts awarded Charles the National World War II Museum's Billy Michael Leadership Award, given annually to one student from each state representing the American spirit in their community, something Charles continues to do.
You fold it downwards like an envelope.
Ashley Paredes, ABC 15, Arizona.
I mean, just what a heart of gold for that young man to take on that task that really is helping so many families. I mean, when they really need it the most, Megan.
And he's so young, and he's already talked about how many years, how long he's been doing this for, how much money he's raised. And it's not even really about the money, right? He's doing this paper origami, taking the time with his own hands to do it. It's something small that can make such a huge difference. And we love highlighting those stories of positivity, doing good in your own community. So make sure you let us know so we can showcase them right here on ABC 15. Let's turn now to that most accurate forecast. Some good news, I could say, if you like the 70s, if you like the 80s, if you like the 90s, if you like the triple digits, you're not my people. I don't know. I can't do that yet. I'm not ready. But something for everyone is what we're tracking in that most accurate forecast, that 7-day ahead. Right now, I can definitely love these temperatures as we're waking up this morning in the 50s and 60s all across the valley. Let me take you through it. 62 in Fountain Hills, 56 in Apache Junction, 56 in Santan Valley, 57 in Chandler. Good morning to you. 61 in Tempe, 60 degrees in Ahwatukee, 58 in Glendale, 57 in Levine, 54 in Buckeye, 58 in Anthem to the north, and 57 in Cave Creek, 58 for you in Surprise. Here is your valley planner for your Saturday. What you can expect with those temperatures will be in the 70s by 9 a.m. So a really nice morning for the next few hours. Then by 11 a.m. the low 80s at 82 degrees, 88 right around 1 p.m. and we will break into those those 90s today. By 3 p.m., 91 degrees. We are going to be slightly above average for this time of year. We should be right around 88 degrees, but we expect to top out with a high of 92 degrees right between 3 and 5 o'clock. As we look around the state at those highs, 79 in Winslow, 68 in Heber, 69 in Show Low, 87 in Safford, 81 in Globe, upper 60s in Payson, mid 70s in Sedona, 60s in Flagstaff and the Grand Canyon, 71 in Prescott, 80 degrees the high today in Kingman, and 91 degrees is the high today in Quartzsite. Expect a windy weekend all across the state. In the valley tomorrow especially, we could see gusts between 20 and 25 miles per hour. Northern Arizona, you're going to be windy all weekend long. As we take a look at this, those sustained winds about 15 to 25 miles per hour with gusts between 35 and 45 miles per hour. That means we are triggering some weather alerts, some wind advisories, some red flag warnings throughout this weekend. So because of those above average temperatures, slightly above average this weekend, that low humidity below about 10% and high winds between 40 and 50 miles per hour all around the state. So let me show you this disturbance that's bringing those winds and really changing our temperatures throughout the next 7 days. A storm system moves in late Monday into Tuesday. The good news is we are likely to see some rain here in the valley, some snow in the high country as this system hangs around all day on Tuesday, going into those evening hours, even into Wednesday afternoon in the eastern parts of the state before this one clears out and high pressure is going to take control and really build up, looking like we could see our first triple-digit day by the end of this 7 days. So 92 degrees today and a little bit breezy, but mostly breezy tomorrow, 93 then. By Monday, our storm chances start, we drop into the 70s at 78 degrees, 77 on Tuesday before we jump into those 80s on Wednesday, 88 then. Thursday, there are those 90s, 96, and then there's our first triple-digit day of the year on Friday. 102 is what we're looking at for a high. Mark.
All right, Megan, thank you. Well, still ahead next week, President Biden will release a new proposal for the next economic plan, a look at what it is expected to center around and who could see a tax increase as a result. And as we count down to the Academy Awards, the changes happening in front and behind the camera as many continue to push for more diversity in Hollywood.
Welcome back. Tomorrow is the 93rd Annual Academy Awards. Right now, our country is at a pivotal moment in the fight for equity. The same thing is happening in Hollywood with a bigger emphasis of making sure what you see in entertainment is just as diverse as our communities in front of the camera and also behind the scenes. Our own Nick Saletti has more on why this year's nominations are a step toward progress.
It's a moment that each of these nominees will never forget.
This year's nominees, the most diverse in Oscars history. But it's only part of the equation, says LA-based entertainment attorney Jaya Thomas.
There has been some progress this year with regards to diversity and, all of the nominees. There are definitely records that have been broken. There are a lot of firsts in this year's Academy Awards, but is the work done? Absolutely not.
In 2018, Thomas founded Diverse Representation, a resource that provides people with a database of Black agents, attorneys, managers, and publicists, all in an effort to make the sports and entertainment worlds more diverse, on screen and off.
I think a lot of us get really excited when we see, people from different backgrounds on screen. And I think we need to always just do a little bit more digging, ask more questions, and just make sure that there's diversity at every level.
Thomas says once the decision makers in Hollywood become more diverse, that's when the real change will happen.
They're the ones who really have the final say with regards to what gets made and, how things are released and, just kind of what's out there in the marketplace. And so, over 90% of CEOs, presidents, and senior executives in the film industry are still white. And so, as you can see, there's still just a lot of work to be done.
As a person of color, as a Black attorney, how does it feel operating in that world where you feel like you're in a position where there might not be a seat at the table for you, so you're out there making your own table?
Great question. So It's definitely been challenging over the years. And a lot of times people will underestimate your abilities because you don't necessarily look like the average lawyer or the average executive in this space. But the good thing is, over the past year, since last summer, a lot of companies and organizations within Hollywood are now being a lot more open to people from different backgrounds and, really trying to ensure that there is more space and opportunity for people who, come from different backgrounds.
And that's a trend ASU film professor Chris Lamont expects to see more of.
So the idea that cultural voices, that diverse voices can be heard on a mainstream level, I think is so important as filmmakers to be able to know that you can tell your stories.
And director Chloe Zhao continues her historic award season run.
Lamont calls this a watershed year for Hollywood.
I think that as we move forward, that understanding of, the audience is not just white. The audience is of all makes, all colors, all genders, and the more opportunities that the studios and producers give those stories to be told, the better we are as a culture and a society.
I think it's going to be an ongoing conversation. I think these things takes time, but I do think every studio and every network is doing something to help address these issues. And so, I hope to see a lot more change, and I hope the change is substantive and not just cutting checks and issuing statements or putting black boxes on social media.
That was our Nick Saletti reporting. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences has come under fire in recent years for not being diverse enough. The Academy is making progress. From 2015 to 2020. The number of female Academy members doubled and the number of people of color nearly tripled. But critics say these numbers still don't reflect what we see in our actual population. In short, there is progress, but it is slow. This Sunday, ABC 15 is your home for the 93rd Annual Academy Awards. The fun starts at 10 a.m. with the Oscars countdown. Then we'll go live to the red carpet for the first look at the fashions. A brief break for news, and then it is back to the red carpet before the show starts at 5 p.m. 6:26 on your Saturday morning, and still ahead, a family still fighting for justice nearly a year after the body of a 16-year-old girl was found along a valley freeway. Plus, meet one of the amazing volunteers playing a huge role in Arizona's vaccine rollout.